mix up with Charlie, well, nobody knows. It's always the same when you come back home. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. It's Tony. Hey, 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 hey. Here with Peter Greenbaum is his name. And his solo career. The last one I've chosen, the last one I'm going to do regarding the Mac. I've not done one on Lindsay yet. I got some of Lindsay's stuff. We may choose to do that later. But again, Christine McVie's got a couple records. You know, that Christine Perfect record I showed you the other day. I'm not interested in doing Stevie's stuff. I'm not a big fan. And let me put this over here a little bit, see if it gets it straightened out. I'm not a big fan, really, of Stevie. And I'm looking to do something else here. And I don't know why I didn't put those records back up. I certainly didn't, did I? But anyway, my records aren't behind me, guys. Forgive me. But anyway, the first record I had, Identification, I don't know what happened to that either. That was supposed to be up on the last deal. But today I'm talking about Peter Green. Yes, I saved it for last. And to tell you the truth, I don't know how many of these other guys do, but I listen to everything again, try to get a fresh perspective on stuff. And to tell you the truth, I intended to do Peter Green, the next one, the first one after Fleetwood Mac. And I've kind of been in somewhat of a apoplectic shock as a result of this, because I'm going to go on record now and tell you that if you're looking for the Peter Green that did the early Fleetwood Mac great blues records, that did Then Play On, that did Mr. Wonderful, he's gone. You're not going to find him in any of the Peter Green solo records. Not a one of them. The Peter Green solo catalog, unfortunately, this is the first time that I've ever done this. I'm not recommending you get any of these records. I don't think anybody really needs any of the records, especially anything short of the Splinter Group. If the Splinter Group, what happened was, everybody knows, he had a lot of problems allegedly after this Munich incident. He quits Fleetwood Mac. He comes back semi there and, makes a perplexing record that we'll talk about later, and then starts off on a series of records that are essentially written by his brother, written by other people who put him in standard situations, standard blues situations that are just about as convincing as the guy down the block. And I know it probably was done to get him out there and to get something going and make something of him. But by the time you've done it 3 or 4 times, it's pretty obvious there's not a lot of conviction and not a lot of stuff behind these standard formats. All these songs are basically standard blues riff formats with either Captain Obvious lyrics or not very good lyrics, and not written mostly by Peter. You live for the moments in these records where he plays guitar and where he plays solos. And you think to yourself, well, when's it going to come? And it comes sometimes not. A lot of times the tone is real good on the plan. I'm not saying there's not good plan, but there's this predilection to put in and the same stuff I heard in Kerwin too. I think we talked about it in Danny Kerwin, that fucking Fender Rhodes piano shit. That Eric Clapton, MOR, pretending, all that fucking bullshit, And I'm not a fan. You're not going to probably see one from me from Clapton, even though I have most of his records. I don't think he's not one of my guys that I really know the catalog well enough, because I don't like it well enough. I mean, I had some of his stuff early. But when you talk about Peter Green, man, it's the guy that did the stuff with Then Play On or before Green Motivation. He's gone. He's not here. Is there a guy that has some essence of him in the delivery, and you can hear a plain stated older gentleman kind of have some delivery that you recognize maybe at the end of the phrasing? Yeah, he's still here, and that's what makes it so bad. Because to me, it sounds to me, and if you watch some of the documentaries and stuff, it's questionable in your mind whether or not he even wants to do this. Let's go through it all, man, here. Number 9, I'm going to start off with the record Colors. This is just a bunch of outtakes. Colors is a bunch of outtakes from Little Dream or What You Gonna Do in White Sky, in the Skies. It's just a couple songs, few songs from each. I have the record. I can't seem to locate it. But I think it's a dog, and a lot of the production on it sounds a little bit backward. Now, do you have some people on? The thing that's amazing to me is a couple really great drummers played on these things. Reggie Isidore played on some of the later ones, and Dave Maddox, the guy that played with XTC and played with different people on it. It's kind of perplexing, but Colors really is again one of the ones that just I don't. It's a compilation record, and it's just something that is not colorful. It's amazing that he went out on a tour on it, because I saw this documentary. He's going on the Colors tour, and I'm like, well, this isn't even newly recorded stuff. It's a mess, man. And you really get a sick in your stomach pit feeling listening to this stuff, because it's like, okay, let's parade him out here. Again, we got some bills we have to pay or something. I don't, especially with this thing about money. And I don't know, man. I don't know how much of his idea it was for him to play. And I guess they feel it's good for him. And I'm not saying anything about the family or anything at all. But I'm telling you right now, the songs that were thrust in this thing, I think they suck. And I think that no more is it shocking to me. It was number 8, Little Dreamer. Now I have 2 versions of this. I got the one with the guitar on it. I've got the one with the ocean or whatever the ocean is on here. Now I have something here where I wrote some of the very specifics about these records, and it is. You have the 2 covers. It just comes off to me. This record comes off to me as insincere. I don't think the quality control of what's happening is good. I don't know where this comes in the deal. I guess it comes into the game in the Skies and Dreamers. The second one is when they first started doing this. It really makes me sick. But there's all these blues idioms, and it just sounds like it's not good. The second one, it just continues with the yawn, bad songs, and I think the guitar playing is okay, but it just sounds mailed in. Some of it sounds like he's going through this, and you hate to say this, but if you live in any city, and I'm not putting him down because he's a really good guitar player, and the tone and the quality and stuff is pretty good. But you can see anybody in this in any city. I mean, DC, I know when I was down there, had 4 or 5 guys like this. They were on this level. This is not at a high level like Fleetwood Mac was cutting level. This is kind of trotting over the same stuff. Now you have it ends with Little Dreamer, Your Albatross Part 2, which is supposed to be some kind of send-off thing with his guitar. Still, I can't help feeling, and I think mostly on this one, because this is not. I heard a lot of these in chronological order, but most of these, I hate to say, this one sounds to me like it's the most mailed in and he's the most detached from it. There's a second song on the which is an interesting, where they kind of cut out everything except the bass and the vocals and the guitar. There's like no drums or anything at all. But not for me, man. Where are we gonna go next with this? We're gonna go next with What You Gonna Do. And What You're Gonna Do is, this is probably the most exploitive, as I said, because there's nowhere on here where it says that the songs weren't written by him. Look at the picture of him on the back. Looks like he's really happy there. Looks like he's from a prison or something. Same place, Utopia Studios, Peter Green, Ronnie Johnson, Paul West, Dave Maddox playing drums again. Mike Cooper, but it doesn't say anywhere what you're going to do on here until you get here. All titles composed by M.D. Green. Every effing lyric and every effing song. Is that so that Peter could keep the royalties? Is this the kind of family thing that's going on? And it might be. But the point of it is these are nothing but retreads of idioms and poor lyrics. Bullet in the sky, give me back my freedom. Promised land, gotta see her tonight. Busy Lizzie, lost my love like a hot tomato. I mean, does he have skill? Yes. Is this in any way any different from somebody in a frickin' factory or something saying, or a studio saying, play this for television or play this for that? Because it doesn't sound any more committed than that. And I don't know what the deal was, what it was, and the difference. It seems to me like the Splinter Group was a little more his way because it went the Johnson stuff. But I can't believe that he wanted to play these songs. I don't believe it. They're not very good. And I don't know if Mike wrote them or if he wrote them and Mike claimed them so he could tack something. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's really getting uncomfortable at this point. And that's I guess, number. We went from Colors 9, Little Dreamer 8. This is what you're going to do, number 7. Well, then that makes number 6 the other exploitive record, and the one that I got that was a limited edition. I paid like $40 for this thing. White Sky, and it's not worth $5. I mean, it's a standard blues thing. There's nothing on it where you say, "Oh boy, it's Peter Green, it's Rattlesnake Shake, it's oh well, it's Green Monalishi." Yeah, it's not. It's Jigsaw Play. It's not Jigsaw Blue. It's not. This is pop music, total pop music. The Clown, Love That Evil Woman. What a weird record. Weird song. Love That Evil Woman at the end of the thing. And at the end of this, look at this. Produced by Peter Green and Jeff Robinson. Writer M.D. Green. All the songs on the first side. I'm just not, man, dude. Again, ends with an instrumental. Tries to end with the instrumental to come out that is great. And whatever you want to say, man, it's pleasant. It's okay. The guitar playing is okay. It's enough to bring him out, to bring whatever that they need out. But, Reggie Isidore is the one playing drums on this. Again, words and music by M.D. Green. What the F, man? I mean, what's he doing fronting it then? Why isn't M.D. Green fronting it? Is this Dr. Eugene E. Landy, part 2? Or part 1? Because it smells like it, man. I mean, listen at the conviction of the performance. It's like a partially lobotomized. I mean, I hate to say it, he's not there anymore. He's calm, he's nice, he's good. But, man, oh man. I just, to me, it's very disturbing. We're going to go now to number 5. And with number 5, I hate to do it. I was not going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's In the Skies, man. Because you know what? Even though it smelled funny when he got it, you're thinking, well, there's some good guitar playing. It's a little weird. The writing shit had already started. I mean, there's some parts in here that Peter writes, and there's some stuff that he claims on the inside. But for the most part, the lion's share, again, what is it? It's P.A. Green supposedly writing the first songs in this. And then you turn around here on the other side, J.S. Green. You turn around on side 2. What do we got in the skies on side 2? We've got P.A. Green, J.S. Green, J.S. Green, P.A. Green, P.A. Green. So, I mean, you've got Peter Green writing the majority of it. And you know what? It's no different than the other ones later. It's not very good. It's lost in pop idiom and in Fender reverb, in Fender Rhodes. I mean, piano, the Eric Clapton sound, the plant. I'm not convinced. I'm not. It doesn't sound that different at all than the songs here, and it doesn't surprise me if either he wrote them or the brother wrote them or whatever. But there's something between them because I don't hear any difference between this record in the skies and the record before. What you gonna do? I don't hear any difference, and and that's why it got bumped down to number 5. Number 4 is going to be one Joe needs to put up here. The original Peter Green Splinter Group, the blue one, very good. Robert Johnson on it. You kind of hear a little bit of a loosening. I don't know if it sounds therapeutic or what. It was almost like Brian Wilson on Smile, where you could hear a little bit of release. I mean, you don't get the guy back, but at least he sounds a little more relaxed in this element and maybe just not working with family or not working with who he was working before and with the records, all the records up to that point. But when the Splinter Group came out, there was somewhat of a break. And that break also, you could see here too, with the other one that I have, the only one of the PG SG that I have is Hot Foot Powder. And it's a continuation of the Robert Johnson thing and the great Robert Johnson songs. This is where he's loose. He's not playing any songs of and nobody's making him play these crappy blues songs with just the idioms and the same lyrics. This is Traveling Riverside Blues, Malted Milk, Milk Cow, Drunken Hearted Man, Come in My Kitchen, Dead Shrimp, they're red, Hot Tamales and they're red hot, Hellhound on My Trail. I mean, this is it, man. This is some of the better ones. And that is number 3 to me, Hot Foot Powder. Number 2 is going to be, in my book, number 2 is going to be the even better, and I wish I had it on vinyl, the Robert Johnson songbook, the massive CD thing where he really went through almost the entire thing, and that's the one that I really want. If I any of the ones of the, I'd like to have any of these PGSGs. You see, I'm saddled with the other ones that are all these crappy pop stuff and all these remake stuff, and it's not that. But the one I really want is Robert Johnson's songbook. So either it'll be reissued or I'll be able to pick up one. Now let me talk to you again. And it only leaves one. And it's very odd that I'm ranking this number 1. Because it's obvious when you listen to it, it's not the work of somebody that's well. It goes down in history as one of the weirdest records, one of the oddest records that's ever been talked about. And you know what's funny is in that documentary, the Fleetwood Mac talks about the music that's coming up from downstairs, and the music was I can't imagine it was too different from the music on this record. Because this music on this record is essentially just a jam session. And I remember some of the quotes from the people that played on this. I think it was Zoot Money played on it, and some other people. One of the drummers, I think, from Pink Fairies or something, played on it, and made the comment and said, we went in and we played for about 20 hours, and that was it. Next thing you know, he mixed the record. Now that was done, but nobody, according to them, nobody ever told him what to play. Nothing. Not a word. Improvised entirely. Which is so different from what Peter, had done and Pete had been. But this record, with the production of it and the sometimes wide open rooms and big spring reverbs and big things that happen to this, really leaves you with the feeling of somebody who's grasping at straws. And there's a very unsettling record cover too with this. This is, of course, the reissue of it, but this is one of the wildest looking covers I've ever seen. And you turn over, and you have Zoot Money on grand piano, Godfrey McLean on percussion. And the bass player was erroneous. Alex Jamochowski, or whatever his name is, had played with Zappa. And he was the bass player in this. Nick Buck, electric piano, and Peter Green on electric guitar. Bottoms up, timeless time, descending scale. First side is just like an acid bath. The second side's a little bit quieter. But listening to this, how can I describe it? Maybe that feeling like if you're at an airport and all of a sudden you're lost. And you feel like you don't know where you are. Not that it's disorienting the way some music can be disorienting. But it sounds like the feeling of somebody who's going at something and then just looks around and realizes that, what am I, there's self-doubt reflected in the echoes of this music and the sound of this music. This is one of those oddities like Trout Mask Replica or like the Shags record or like, this is an outsider classic. There's no guitar record like this. There's some fantastic wah-wah. And that's the interesting about this is it's really a wah-wah fiesta. And it almost reminds you of some of those krautrock records that like were made by the Klaus Schultz's Asherah Temple or something. I mean, it almost sounds like that. I can't describe it to you anymore. I have it at number one because I have love for it. I have a fondness of it. But for every bit of fondness I have of this record is equally troubling. And it's clearly reflected of somebody who would think to put this out as a record, being in the position he was in at the time. Just clearly doesn't sound like he's well. And just not that he's connected. It sounds disconnected. And to me, it's fascinating. I mean, there are records, Tonight's the Night is a fascinating record like that. Trout Mask Replica is a fascinating record like that. A lot of these outsider records are. This is really one of those. Skip Spence Orr is one of those. This is one of them. And it's shocking. I mean, if you listen to the last thing he did with Fleetwood Mac, the last stuff he did, and then listen to this, it's clear that something has indeed happened. But again, that's what made me so mad on that Danny Kerwin issue. Because they claim the same thing happened to Kerwin. Here you can hear it happen. Kerwin, you don't hear it happen. I don't hear it happen. And how long did they carry him for that long afterwards, please? I might have all my facts right. I don't know. But I know the records he made were fine. And so, but these are not. These are not. This is a diminished man. This is a man trying to do his best. I have no problem with the family. I have no problem with the man doing it. But it's really the Peter Green that was the driving force between Fleetwood Mac and the beginning, the real driving force of the band, and the one that was honored is not here, is not in these records. Folks, for the first time ever, I'm going to recommend really that I don't think any of you need any of this music. I think there's, his solo catalog as far as the blues songs go and the idioms and the Clapton-esque trip that they were on, the Fender Rhodes thing or whatever, it's mediocre, man. There's nothing special about it. You don't hear that and go, like you did Oh Well or Rattlesnake Shake or in any of the early great stuff on the first record or Mr. Wonderful. It's not there. And it's a shame. And some of the great tapes, oh my God, you've got the tapes. I have those warehouse ones where allegedly he was dosed. I have those live recordings. Supposed to be crystal clear, so we'll have to check it out. If it was Owsley probably taped into hooked up his tape recorder to the deal. But anyway, yeah. Poor Peter. Poor Peter was affected. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was LSD. I don't know if it was a combination of the God complex or what was happening with him. I don't know. Who knows? But, unfortunately, this is a sad chapter and one of the saddest, countdowns that I've done here. I wouldn't put any of these records. The Splinter Group records would be average records. They'd be a 3 or so, and the only reason I'd put in this end of the game, maybe a slight bit more is just because of the fascination of it. You just wonder and listen to it and go, what the hell, man? What are you doing here? What are you trying to say here? And it's clearly he's either troubled and sending a message or just completely disconnected and out to lunch. And I think it was both. So I think it was more the latter, really. But poor guy gave us some great music, and I'm just glad to see him here, and I'm glad that he has friends, I guess, that would put him through this. But you just got to wonder who was making the coin at the time, especially with his attitude towards making money. Was he convinced that he had obligation to the family, or did he have children he needed to make money for or something? It just doesn't sound, the thing that breaks your heart about it are all these records are just have no conviction at all. None. The convicted person talking to you, is disconnected from the original spirit of the guy that gave you all the classics. And it was sad. But I hate to leave off on a sad note like this, guys, but that's really the end of the Fleetwood Mac trip here, you guys. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Help me out. Hit the like button. Please help us out here on this channel by hitting that, smashing that. You can subscribe to the podcast. We're going to have some additional good stuff coming up here. We're never going to stop. We've got a lot of good stuff still on our list. Yeah, man, I really feel deeply about Peter Green and Danny Kerwin too, and even Bob Welch. And it's just a shame that, the way that history and there's a combination of a problem. I think Kerwin has a problem with history. I think Welch had a problem with recognition and stuff. And Welch was fascinating. Like to say to go both Paris and do the pop stuff he did. That's a wide range to cover. And then, of course, the super billionaire new version of it. But poor Peter, man. But I think the Splinter Group, in a way, some people think it was some kind of salvation, Causey Powell and the people that played in the band at the end. Everybody felt a little bit of responsibility, I think, and I think that was part of what had happened. That seemed like a more sincere presentation. So if you're inclined towards any of the Green stuff, go to the Splinter Group stuff. And just curious to look into the game first, because, I like it because I'm a perverted dude. I like weird stuff, but I'm not sure that would apply for every normal person, every John and Jane Doe that would want to hear Peter Green's music. I don't think I would start them with End of the Game. It would probably be too much of a psychedelic. It's kind of a psychedelic meltdown, really, is what it is. It's kind of like a freak out. Like it's just kind of like a come down. I mean, there's many moments on there where you feel like you're just shattered, And and it's amazing how people even in the state that he was in can accurately communicate what's going on. That's what I feel fascinating about it. He was able to translate in some places, despite this, how scattered and how crazy it was, and it's very unsettling. That's why it's my number one. I think if you're a serious person that likes, psych stuff and likes stuff, you should definitely have it. It's a classic. It's a classic, but it is a classic weird record, the same way he skips Spence and all that is. Anyway, signing off here, people. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe, and please leave your list below and your thoughts about Peter Green. I could have it all wrong, but this is just the gist that I get from it. And in any event, I really appreciate having you guys around for the ride. Leave any of and all of your thoughts below, and we will check you next time. Peace.
Sitting on the boardwalk, 40 in a bag. Listen to the stone pony bands and the seagulls cry.